What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who You Got with
Mello
and Rado. It's a sports podcast where we talk about your favorite sports, your favorite highlights, matchups, and all other things involved in sports. And we had some great fights this weekend. Mello, did you watch those fights this weekend?
Oh yes, a few days ago we dropped an episode about UFC 263. It was last night, and that card was just magical. Obviously, it was a whole day full of fighting. I loved it because I actually went to two different places that had it on, so I was actually able to watch fights all day.
Nice,
which is always good. And then obviously the three main fights were just all of them were just good, great fights. You know, some upsets, some won how you should, how you thought they would go, and then obviously obviously things that happen in the fight are a lot to talk about. So
They remind me of some old school UFC fights, like some brawls.
oh yeah,
Seriously.
no, it was definitely a great weekend. That's why I definitely called you up. I was like, yo, we gotta definitely do a recap.
Definitely had to talk about this.
Yeah, I can't wait till 264 to go over what happened. So here we are. So we definitely want to go over those three main fights that we had last night and just pretty much give our take on it, how we think those fighters performed, and obviously what we think is next for some of those guys.
Right.
So what's the first fight you want to talk about, man?
Well, we're just going to go over those three rounder fights. So
Right.
let's go over that Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards
Oof.
fight. Of course, we saw what happened. Nate Diaz came in. He was a crowd favorite.
Of course.
Leon Edwards came out of the UK, but, he had, like, such a great winning streak up until now. So we all know, like, the back talk that they had between each other. But, what happened at the end, Leon Edwards just put it to him, and he pretty much took over that whole fight. And he obviously beat him up. Nate Diaz, he's a type that he can get beat up and he can still stay in the ring, but
That's what he does.
he started getting bloody like late in the third round, and that was like worrisome. You thought at one point that the ref was going to stop it, and they were just going to call it because it was too much blood at one point on his eye. I didn't think that was going to stop, but he held it in there. He was able to like stay in with him. Obviously, when he was on the ground, Leon just had like a lot more power. He was able to control him a lot more. And I gotta say, like, Leon pretty much had that fight all the way up until that fifth round. Oof. I mean, Nate had a few significant punches in the earlier rounds, but that fifth round he had that one punch that knocked him off his feet almost. Knocked his head like a bobblehead. Like, literally. But he didn't finish it. I thought he should have just went in and finished it. Like, once you take that punch, you got to just go in and finish that fight. And he didn't take that chance. He might have been a little tired. I'm not sure. What'd you think about that one?
Yeah, so definitely great fight. I personally thought the fight went exactly how I expected it to go. Leon Edwards is so underrated. He's great in all aspects. His striking was on point last night. It showed. His grappling was on point last night. It showed. His clinch game was on point last night. It showed. Between that, elbows, the passes on the ground, he just completely dominated that fight for basically 24 minutes. And I definitely wanted to start with that because obviously 24 minutes out of 25 minutes of complete domination. Then that fifth round, basically with a minute left, Diaz called him with a right left. And I swear, like, I stood there with my mouth open screaming.
Yo,
like,
I got to put my chin too.
Because obviously I wanted Edwards to win, and after 24 minutes of dominance, I'm like, yes, let's go, boy. Like, let's do this. We're almost there. That boy went out. He literally went out on his feet. And two things. Either he didn't have the energy or he's so used to shit talking. Like, he sat there, like you said, he pointed.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't capitalize on that moment whatsoever. And that literally could have been, I don't care what the rest of the year would have brought us. That would have been the upset of the
That definitely
year,
would have been an upset.
Guaranteed.
I mean, everyone had an upset. Vegas had an upset. Everyone was talking about Leon.
Obviously, that's a little bit more on Leon for getting a little bit too complacent. Cause like you said, you got the match in the bag. Don't sit here and stand in front of Nate Diaz and play mind games. So I was definitely happy about how he performed. Like I said, the whole fight, he just pretty much destroyed Nate Diaz. The elbow sliced a couple cuts open.
Right.
Like you said, it almost looked like it was going to get stopped for a while because how much blood was coming out.
Right.
But obviously, they got excellent cutmen in the game.
Oh, of course.
Definitely
I mean, they patched it up so quick like that. End of that third round,
he came out, you wouldn't even know he had a cut.
I know, right?
But that last minute, he definitely got to keep that defense up. But that was an amazing fight.
It was. But you heard Nate talking about, like, after the fight, he even said that, like, during training, he got cut in training, and that might have been the same eye that got cut, so it might have still been like an open wound. And it just might have looked like a little bit worse than it was. Could have just been an open wound, and they were able to patch it up a little bit. So, at least he was able to stick in that fight. So you got to give him, some credit.
No, right.
Like, fighting with a bloody eye, you're not able to see out of one eye. You got blood running down your eye early, too, and early in the round as well.
Yeah.
He was down on his back. So, it's a lot tougher to, get up from that and be able to, control a fight like that. But I got to give it to Leon. It was definitely one of his best overall fights. Just watching like you said, so many areas.
Yes.
But, Nate stuck with him in a few punches. You might not think Nate's punches are hard, but they are when they come at you.
He hit him with a right, left. That shit connected right under that jawline. So perfect. He was literally
course,
out.
Just said, that fifth round punch. Yeah, he's
still out because obviously that last minute, he was fucking Leon Edwards was fighting for his life.
Right.
Backing up, trying basically not to get knocked out.
Yep.
So I want to say it was like a 3-1, 4-1 ratio on how Nate Diaz outstruck Leon Edwards that fifth round.
Right.
And the majority of that came from that last minute. Once he knocked him out on his feet, kind of, and didn't capitalize, then he basically kept tagging him up against that fence.
Yeah.
For pretty much like 50-something seconds.
Yeah. The refs called it 49-46. I thought it should have been just a little bit closer because that fifth round.
He definitely won that fifth round.
Definitely went after him.
Yeah,
so I thought it should have been 47-45. I thought it could have been a 2-point fight, but other than that, like you said, it was definitely one of Leon Edwards' best fights, best showing. Other than knocking somebody out, this is a great fighter in Nate Diaz, and he's able to control him like this and just show how much power he has in his punches too, being able to open up his cuts. But I want to see him get some love from the crowd, Leon Edwards. I know he's from the UK.
It's so annoying.
It's tough, and you seen what he's been doing the last 8-9 fights. He's beaten everybody, and he's just got to get some love one of these times.
And it's getting on my nerves. Last night, obviously, like I said, I watched every second of obviously all the main cards and a lot of the fights throughout the day. The casual fans are just so annoying. Because all day they're just booing. Anytime someone get into a clinch, get into a little grapple, it's like, if you want to sit there and watch these motherfuckers just go and trade blows all day, go watch boxing. It's mixed martial art for a reason. There's aspects to this game. Many different levels of this shit. So it's like, I obviously enjoy all of it, but the crowd was just on some other shit.
You just gotta respect. You gotta respect him once he wins. You gotta at least cheer for him once he wins. I mean, obviously everyone knows that Nate was the favorite in the crowd in the arena.
For sure.
But you gotta give him some. It makes sense though, because even when in boxing, you got guys from the UK that come here and fight, and they get booed too. So
what's killing me though is the disrespect that the organization itself is still giving him. I literally watched a post-fight conference. All of the fighters, Dana White, all of them, and this motherfucker Dana White really had the nerve to still say Colby Covington is still the number one contender in front of Leon.
So let's talk about that. This
motherfucker haven't fought in 2 years.
Right.
Like how?
Right. Let's talk about that.
How is he still the number? He literally got his shit broke.
Right.
And then didn't do nothing.
Didn't do
for
nothing
2
after
years.
that. Yeah.
This motherfucker Leon Edwards literally lost to the champion Usman,
and
I think it's
since.
9-0, 10-0 in the last few years. Been taking every fight, everything he can come up with, taking whatever he can get, stepping up to the plate and showing out every single time. How he's still gonna not give him the respect to give him that number one contender spot, and that's so fucked up.
And
so fucked up.
You said last week he had 5 fights last year in 2020, so he's trying to fight as much as he can this year too.
He's trying to go ham.
Of course, he's trying to have Usman again. He's trying to fight Usman. Let's talk about that. Who do you think the next fight for Leon is going to be? You think he wants to fight Usman, obviously?
So what kills me about that is obviously he deserves and he should get the champ fight. Do I think he'll beat Usman? No.
Yeah. See, I agree. I think
do
he
I think he's better than everyone
else
in the division? Yes. Except for here's what I understand with Dana. Colby still got the skills. But here's what he pissing me out about Colby is before he started the whole Make America Great Again shit, following Trump, he was basically Leon Edwards.
Right.
Great talent.
Yep.
But literally almost out of his way out of the company because no one gave a fuck about him.
Right.
He was literally as fucking plain as unseasoned mayonnaise as you can be. Like, he was just trash. No one cared about him. And that's Leon Edwards. So the fact that you still, Colby had to... And that's why, because basically the 3 top contenders in that division is still Colby, Leon and
Masvidal, of course.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
So it's one of those 3. One of those 3 got to fight the champ. Obviously, for Usman, it makes sense to either fight Edwards or Colby. Kobe wants Usman. He don't want Edwards. I don't think Kobe deserves a shot at Usman. I think it should be Edwards.
Yeah,
but if you don't want to give the shot to fucking
Kobe versus Masvidal again, and then Usman versus
no,
Leon,
literally Kobe versus Masvidal for sure, and then Usman versus Edwards.
That's
or worst case, Kobe versus fucking Edwards. Let's bring two of the boring fighters together. Both of them got fucking skills, but let's put them together.
I don't
know. Who shine on top.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
They won't.
I don't
think
they
won't at all.
Because just like you said, like their names are not as popular. They're gonna need one of people know Masvidal. People know
I was glad
Usman.
For this Nate Edwards or this Nate Diaz fight.
Yeah,
it brought
definitely.
Edwards' notoriety, except the fact that he almost got knocked out.
I know.
He literally, and that's so funny
one
because
thing I was
everyone was
say,
saying last night, like Nate Diaz stock didn't even drop. I don't even care that he lost.
Of course not. He's still even if he lost. I mean, one thing I was gonna say, if that fight would have went maybe 3-4 more minutes, if he got that punch in the beginning of the fifth round, then that would have been a 4 minute.
Leon, I would have never been able to stand on his feet for another 3 minutes.
Definitely not, because he was controlling like that last 2 minutes. He really was. He was able to stay on top of him and grapple him, and he did look a little bit shifty. So man, if that would have went just one more round, but Dana wanted it a 5-rounder, and that's huge because they said that was the first time that it wasn't a co-main event. There was a 5-round fight.
So the reasoning for that was because it was supposed to be a co-main event.
It was
when it first happened.
That's
and it
true.
kept getting postponed.
That's true. It kept
so
getting
they just
postponed.
kept it at 5 rounds.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's a fan favorite. It didn't disappoint at 5 rounds. If it didn't go 5 rounds, Nate Diaz would have just got destroyed in 3, and then it would have been over.
Yeah, that would have been easy.
You know what I'm saying?
For
sure. So the fact that he was able to get
that
close knockout is a good thing. I'm definitely excited to see in the next couple weeks to see who's gonna get the fight with Usman, and whoever's not gonna get the fight with Usman, who's the next fight for them.
I'm also interested in who's gonna fight Nate Diaz next, because he's already talking, and
I'll be honest, I don't even care.
You might not, but I mean, there's
like
people
I said,
UFC.
The man's a human punching bag at this point. He don't offer much.
He is, but you see, he's got a hard punch.
He clearly almost knocked out.
He's got a hard punch.
Number 1 contender, but like I said, it had to go 5 rounds.
Right,
he's not gonna keep getting these 5 rounders. If you give him 3, he's gonna. If he walk into any other fight with the energy he did for 3 rounds,
they literally said.
None of them.
Well, they said last night that he was he has the most or 9th most minutes in UFC history.
He had 5 hours. I think.
5 hours. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy. But I think he might fight somebody like Conor McGregor if he has a chance again.
I don't think Conor's gonna give him a shot.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Obviously,
we'll see
what happens
with Poirier.
Poirier Conor coming up.
Because if Poirier get that win, Conor at this point, boy, you better take what you can get.
Yeah, pretty much. If Poirier takes it,
you ain't the man no more.
Nah, not gonna be it twice in a row.
Right.
Not by him. But that was a great, starter fight for sure. And then we had like 2 great championship fights.
Oh yeah, 2 belts up for grabs last night.
Yep. Obviously, we had Davidson Fiduireno versus Brandon Moreno in that early one.
Fucking disgusting.
Oh, man. Oh, obviously Figueiredo came in as the reigning champion.
Oh my God.
Moreno, coming in from Mexico.
Yeah.
Definitely an underdog, but he came in looking big. And a lot of people, even Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier, said like during the week he came in looking the biggest he's looked. He came in looking bulky, and that's one thing that actually helped him in this fight for sure. He was able to control the fight. He was able to get a lot of knockdowns. He got 4 knockdowns during the fight.
Oh yeah.
One thing about Figueiredo was that he was able to get out of a lot of clinches, and when he was on the ground, there was one time he almost got taken for a rear naked choke where you thought it was going to happen.
He was trying for that neck a lot,
and he actually got out of it. So you got to give Figueiredo a little bit of credit. At that time, there was a second round when he got out of it, but of course, what happened in the third round? He got that rear naked choke,
right.
Brandon Moreno, and just took over that fight. You saw that one too?
Oh no, that clearly was an upset.
Were you excited about that one though? Right?
No one's seen that shit coming. But please, can we please give it up for the first? Now I think the UFC has been, 38, just under 40 years as a company that has been basically open or created.
Yep.
First Mexican-born UFC champion.
Yep.
And that's just absolutely amazing. For a man who literally got cut.
Yeah.
For a man who was told he wasn't good enough to even fight anymore, it's over.
He was almost going to go to another league.
Go back to getting a desk job or go fucking work at TJ Maxx or something. It's over,
They were talking about him going like to Bellator or something, but that wasn't going to happen.
So the UFC wasn't even trying to give him the time of day, and he came back and won the fucking belt. And that's just a hell of a story, amazing. And basically, after the tie in December, he said fuck his family at that point. I'm not going home. I'm not going to just rest. we're running this shit back, and I know we're running this shit back. And
Right.
for 6 months, trained, and I swear to God, I did not expect that fighter to come out like that yesterday. So as soon as he came out, I'm just like, what is wrong with his arms? Like, he has such a weird stance, but he was just rolling, throwing, feinting. Like, he was just so active. It was just straight dominance. He was he was just out wrestled Fiduireno. He was aggressive. You know what I'm saying? He just pretty much like every aspect. It was like another domination fight, but the other way where no one expected it to go. So
that's for sure. Definitely nobody expected that to go. And I love his style too. The way he was fighting yesterday, he had like this drunken like kung fu style almost.
Like, it was a little weird the way he was swinging his arms, but like
I like that.
I think he was just really just let's just keep going. He was forcing the action. Fiduireno was just flat on his foot. Really didn't offer anything. Just pretty much, I think by the time Moreno got to like 30 punches, Fiduireno was only like at 6. Like, he was just
That's true.
Nothing was happening. Yeah. And by the time he couldn't just turn it on like he was supposed to get that win. And basically it was just 3 rounds of domination before he got that submission. So
I agree. It
was a magical fight. I had my mouth open the whole time. Come on, yo, like, you know, like I said, I picked Fiduireno. I'm like, all right, turn it up. Like, you know, come on, let's get back out there. And then, like, once I seen that naked chokehold like set in, man, I'm like, all right, he could get out of it. But then once he had the arm under his neck and then the other arm above his head, at that point,
once he was able to remove his arm other arm under his neck, then it was over.
Fiduireno was like, he had both his hands on the top arm.
Right.
And like, at that point, that means that the other one's already under your neck with nothing to stop it. So if you can't pull that top arm down in time to still go back to the other arm, like, I don't know why he did that, because he still, as soon as you let go of that top arm, he's gonna go right back. So like, focus on the one that's under your neck. At the end of the day, he couldn't even grab that, so he had to focus on what he
didn't want to let him clinch both arms at the same time, though. So it was tough. I mean, being in that position, especially being on your back like that, and him being behind you, you know, it's a lot tougher to get out of that rear naked. But he was able to do it once. So and he was on there for like at least a whole minute, and it was tough. It was tough for him. He lost a lot of energy there. He lost a lot of energy, and I was very upset, like, watching him start out the fight. You know, at first you saw Fiduireno, like, he was like standing very low, getting ready to start, and you would think that he would start fast, like he was gonna get ready to tackle him or something, or start punching him fast, but he just didn't even do that. He waited for Moreno to come in with the punches, and he was trying to counter back, which I just thought, he should have tried to push him forward more. Moreno was controlling the fight forward. Every time Fiduireno was just moving sideways, Moreno was moving forward. Right. Obviously, like, he sees the, you know, being bulkier helps out that type of fight, you know, because I think Fiduireno needs to bulk up, you know, now, because it's looking like him fighting bigger fighters like that is gonna be a issue for him. You know, once he's on the ground, he's just getting controlled too much. You know, they were on the ground for 4 minutes, and Brandon Moreno had control of that for like three of those minutes, pretty much. 2:57. So it's like, you know, it was pretty much a big control by Brandon Moreno. He had a lot of points for the takedowns, so he was able to get those points. But Fiduireno did get a lot of stand-ups, you know, getting out of those takedowns. So, you know, in UFC you get some points for that too.
I mean, he was good at getting out of shit, but that's all he was doing.
That's all he was doing. That's true.
To what was being thrown at him and surviving. Exactly. And that's not how you come out as a champion.
No, you gotta attack.
You defending your title, and that's the thing, he know better. Like, he been there before, so I don't know.
That's exactly what I mean. Like, he was looking to counter Moreno, but that's not what he should have been. He should have been looking to attack, really.
But at the end of the day, that was one of the most graceful losses I've ever seen. The way he was so supportive,
gave him a lot of love,
just giving him love. So
picked him up right when they called him as a champion,
and he definitely, like he said it, like, you know, he put the work in like I did to get my belt, so it's like that he deserved it. So it's like,
and you know, those rear naked chokes, you know, like, I don't, you know, that could happen anytime, and it's sometimes it's fluky, sometimes it's not, but you know, it just could happen anytime. That's the most
scariest part about MMA, because you got to defend against the punches, you got to defend against the kicks, then you start wrestling, grappling, clinching, and at any point, if they can get a joint, an arm or neck, and get that shit isolated, and get a lock in it, you're fucked.
That's why I love UFC, because you could be winning the fight,
literally, you're fucked.
The whole fight, and all of a sudden you could just get submitted real quick in the next like 5-10 seconds. But obviously, you know, Moreno was pretty much controlling that fight. overall.
time.
You know, so you got to give him a lot of credit. I don't know what's next for him, but
me either.
I think they're gonna give him a a nice 6-month wait, and he's probably not gonna fight till either December.
Oh no, they definitely have to.
Coming in January.
I don't know what's coming next. I don't know if it's a trilogy fight, if they're gonna get another contender.
Yeah, I was looking at if they might do a trilogy, but
I don't know if Moreno felt like it's deserved.
Yeah, since it was like a controlled like that by Moreno, he was able to submit him so quick. It
wasn't even close this time.
No, and like we said, Fiduireno didn't look like he was controlling the fight at all. He didn't attack that much, so Dana doesn't like that. Dana likes when you're a guy that like attacks. He'll give you more chances if you're definitely like punch drunk fighter. Will go inside and
right.
Try to go in, but that was
they threw a couple suggestions about him going up in weight classes. Fiduireno.
Right. Yep. Heard that. Definitely heard that.
He's still dangerous no matter what, but
he just needs to bulk up. He needs to he's way too slender, and he loses a lot. On the ground, he just loses a lot of energy. When somebody's on top of him, he loses so much energy, and he can't. He can't pretty much turn around from when somebody has him on a half guard. He can't switch it and get on over the top of him. So that's his problem.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see what's next for both those fighters. Obviously, Moreno is excited as hell. Mexican fans are so supportive in almost any sport. So he's gonna go home, enjoy his family, enjoy his friends.
That's right.
And it's just definitely well deserved, but definitely a title fans coming this year. I do hope that's in the picture.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Brandon Moreno.
We'll definitely see, like I said, first Mexican-born UFC champion. So that's freaking amazing. So what about the third fight? Clearly, that was one belt that walked away with a new owner.
Yep.
So Moreno had to go home and find a new mantle space for that UFC gold. So that's fucking amazing. And then obviously the last fight of the night was Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori.
The last style bender.
Oh, yeah. So did you see that one?
Vettori, the Italian stallion. Yes, I did. That was a crazy, crazy fight, of course. And obviously this is a rematch. No, they were fighting a second time.
Yeah.
Adesanya came in as the champ, so he's defending his belt.
After basically trying to go up to 205 and lose and try to go up to heavyweight. Didn't work out too great.
Tried to fight Jan Blachowicz.
He exposed a little bit about his ground game, but obviously John was a heavier fighter. So basically that was a question that was coming back into the rematch. Well, is he be able to get his ground game exposed again? Because basically he's not getting exposed anywhere else. So that was definitely what the question was. And how do you feel like it was answered?
I mean, Vettori, he kind of came in with a similar strategy to Jan Blachowicz. You saw he was a little bit bulked up as well,
He definitely thought that was going to happen the same.
I'm sure after they did the weigh-in, he definitely put on 5-10 pounds after that. So he came in a little bit heavier than they showed at the weigh-in.
Right.
So I definitely think he tried to use the same strategy. He was trying to get takedowns, but every time he was trying to get a takedown or a clinch, and he wasn't able to control Adesanya. He wasn't able to take him all the way down. He got him, pushed him against the fence, and Adesanya was just able to move his arms from the side and start punching him on the side of his head, start punching Vettori. Once he started punching Vettori had to let go of one of his arms and
focus on defending.
Because you don't want to get punched for no reason. And I thought Vettori could have had a lot of chances once he had him on the ropes. He had him on on the cage, and he could have actually tried to use some energy to take him down. You saw he had one really good takedown.
Oh yeah,
where he actually pushed him. He almost tackled him against the fence. So that was a really good takedown. That he thought he was getting control, but the thing about Adesanya, he's just so good. On the ground, he has so much skills. He's able to slither away from you so much. You see how much
he's skinny.
He has so much to offer. He has spinning punches. He's got high kicks. He's got high knees that he can offer. He's got the ground game pretty much. Obviously he needs to get a little bit better fighting against bigger fighters on the ground.
He got to get a lot better
but
on the ground,
against bigger fighters for sure. But against lengthier fighters, he can definitely fight them. But I mean, obviously, if he's able to stand up and get away from a guy like Vettori, who's still a little bit bulkier than him, that shows that he's getting better from his last fight.
Right.
And like I said, Vettori had that one takedown, but he just wasn't able to finish finish the takedowns. And once you took him on the ground, you couldn't control him. You couldn't get any guards. There was at one point that Adesanya almost was able to get a leg control and was gonna get a submission, and Vettori was able to slip out of that. So I did see some good Brazilian jiu-jitsu from Vettori as well.
Right.
But overall, it was just too much control from Adesanya. He just took over that fight. It was honestly, it was a beatdown. It was really a beatdown. I didn't think, Vettori had any of the rounds. If I look at it,
not at all. Wasn't even close.
He might have had like 30 seconds of a round, but if you look at any round, more than half of it was definitely for Adesanya, and Izzy just showed why he's the last style bender. He came in looking like Raiden or like like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Did his thing. Came in there.
It was absolutely disgusting. Honestly, Izzy was just picking him apart. He's at his best when he keeps his length. He used that kickboxing, his kicking skills. He just destroyed Vettori with the low kick.
Right.
And it's so crazy because I think
that shin kick was beating him up.
A few seconds in, he tried to throw, or maybe a minute or two in, he tried to throw a kick, and Vettori caught him and got that takedown. And after that, I thought Izzy would be discouraged. Right.
Vettori didn't go for that anymore.
But he kept the kick low.
Yep. Kept on his shin. That's right.
Kept it on the shin. Fucked up the leg. Fucked him up all night.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get a cramp in that shin at one point.
Yeah, I'm surprised he still stayed on that leg all night. He just kept dashing in and out, basically tagging and dipping, pretty much fucking him up. And it's so funny because Chael Sonnen said something in the post-fight interview was Marvin or Vettori was basically, he was kickboxing.
Right, yep.
And then he was wrestling.
Yep.
He was never doing it at the same time.
Yep.
He never threw combinations and followed up with a takedown. He just threw combinations. His coaches kept telling him to throw the double jab to start some action. He would throw the double jab and then maybe throw one more punch after that, and that was it. The third punch, I don't even think connected once. Half the time, the double jab didn't even connect it. So he was just fucked up the whole time. I felt like he wasn't into it. Round one, he thought he did all right. His coaches told him he lost. He got mad. And from then on, it was just straight dominance. It wasn't even close. Like, round one was the best chance he got because of that takedown. But like you said, Izzy was just slipping out. He basically showed that he improved on his takedown defense. He showed that he improved on his wrestling. And basically, he's been daring people to show out or show that he can be exposed in the ground for months. And obviously, the only person that's actually been able to do it was John. And now because
and he's a lot bigger. Right. But
so the middleweights ain't definitely about to do nothing to him.
Right. That weight class is pretty much over with. But
and now the question is, like, what's even next for him? That's
for
definitely
sure,
crazy.
For sure. But I mean, just looking at like the way Vettori was holding him onto the fence. You see the Adesanya is just getting a lot better against bigger fighters.
That's the thing. From the get-go, I realized Vettori is like, all right, if you're going to go for a takedown, you clearly have to do it at a certain point when Adesanya is not nowhere.
Exactly. Well, like you said, you got to do the 1-2, and then you got to do the takedown.
He kept waiting to trying to back him up, and then when he got his back to the fence, Vettori didn't have enough power or enough surge to come out of him to complete the takedown. Like you said, he was punching him on the head, so at that point he had to stand back up and worry about defense. Like it was just,
but I
was
just
not good at all.
I mean, I'm giving a lot of credit for Adesanya for actually learning those skills because obviously Jan Mateusz was doing a lot of that to him too. Jan was pretty much putting his whole body on him and putting him on the fence.
Yeah,
on the
Jan
cage.
just laid on him.
So he just laid on, and obviously that takes a lot of.
I know you've seen the way Izzy rolled out when he kicked off the fence.
He kicked off the fence, and he's able to use his knees, and they called it the spider or the rat technique, I think it's called. And when you're able to put your knees all the way to your ankles and push the guy off you, pretty much, and put your feet on his hips and then push him off you. So he was able to do that a lot.
Yeah, and then what definitely started off as Marvin Vettori rear naked chokehold on Israel Adesanya.
For 1 second, you really did.
And turned around into Izzy basically putting both hands on his motherfucking neck and looking him dead in the eye. Like at that point, you're not doing nothing, bro. Like that was the best chance you had at fighting. I even screamed and jumped like, oh fuck, no,
like, oh my god,
he had it, bro. Right. This nigga just literally slipped around, turned around. And then somehow both his hands on his neck. So I'm not even gonna lie. The first thing that popped in my head is that even fucking legal?
Right. Was it legal? Right? What was he doing there?
He's choking this motherfucker. Is that even legal? Right. I dead ass thought what is he doing?
Right.
I guess it was. No one stopped it. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Right. No, that's true.
That shit was definitely weird. But at that point, when you assert that type
it was a weird fight
because
obviously
it's over.
Vittoria, in the beginning, he said he got accidental poke in the eye, slight poke.
It was kick too,
and the groin kick.
You can't blame those.
No, you can't blame that for the fight because the refs gave him enough time to even stop. He told me he was going to have 5 minutes. He didn't want to take the 5 minutes.
Exactly.
He came in the fight, but I love what happened at the end of the fight. The last few seconds of the fight, Vettori was trying to to punch. He had Adesanya at the cage, and he was trying to punch him on the side. But Adesanya was just looking at the camera, and he looked at his eye. He was like, my eye hurts, making fun of him, trolling him.
I think at one point he smacked him and grabbed his
because
ass,
he knows that those punches they weren't doing nothing. Like at that point, like in the 5th round, Vettori was just so done. Like he was so fatigued at that point.
What really is disgusting though is the fact that Vettori still thinks he won that fight.
Man, that was terrible.
Like at that point, so
terrible.
I know I seen his face when the judges said winner by unanimous decision 50-45. He was like, huh? Like, so all right, the score might have been a little too off. But
I don't know.
I think he got the dominated 5 rounds.
I think so. Even his corner was during the end of the 4th round. They were like, you need the 1-2 knockout.
5 rounds, 50-47, 50-48. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still lose every round, but still be more up in.
True.
But
up in the scores. But of course, if you get stand ups and takedowns and stuff like that. Yeah.
At the end of the day, that was basically. Actually, no, you really can't, because that was a fucking
Yeah, I mean, it was an obliteration pretty much. Yeah. It was an obliteration.
That score is perfectly right. Yeah, there ain't no way you could think that score is not off if he dominated every round like he did.
He pretty much did. I mean, yeah.
So last night, I'm like that was kind of a big gap, you know.
Like I said, if he would have finished,
I'm thinking about it. No, the score is perfect.
Well, if he would have finished his takedowns, like he got him halfway, but he never got to finish it. If he would have finished all those takedowns, he probably would have had 6-7 takedowns throughout the fight.
I'll give it one more point. That first round was a lot closer.
It was a little bit closer.
But like I said, Izzy still edged it out because he was tagging him a lot more.
I still think the judges called it right.
But at the end of the day, it was complete domination for 5 rounds. Wasn't even close. Even if you don't like the score, there ain't no way Martin Vettori think he won.
Exactly.
If he really goes out, and I couldn't find a post-fight interview from him last night.
No, even the one thing, I mean,
I don't think he wanted to talk. But
he didn't want to talk.
If he really says that he won that fight,
he wanted to talk to him. But
if he really says he won that fight, bro, like at this point, I don't even have any respect for you. You're never gonna grow as a fighter, and you're gonna keep.
Not at all. I mean, even Izzy came up to him at the end of the fight. They tried to talk, and Izzy was trying to talk to him nice. He was like,
basically respect me as a man.
Yeah, respect me. At least, like, just beat you fair and square. Like, at least, like,
for a second time. He was like, no, you didn't. Like, he was like, what?
Right. I mean,
like Scooby Doo out here, like,
He knew what happened. He just didn't want to acknowledge it. He doesn't want to look.
Bro, when your own corner is telling you round by round, first round, you lost. He didn't like that. He got mad. He was like, yo, I understand. You think you won, but he tagged you more. You lost. Second round. You're down 0-2, bro. This is his own corner telling him.
Exactly.
Third round. You're down 0-3. You have to do something. Something has to happen for you to win this fight. Throw that double jab. Get behind it. Get some takedowns. Round 4. You have nothing left. This is it. You lost every round. If you don't go put him on his ass, you're losing.
That's true.
And he come out. Oh, I think I won. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, when they were talking in the end of the 4th round, when his corner was talking to Vettori,
corner told him he lost.
They were saying you need the 1-2 knockout. If you get the 1-2, that's the only way you're gonna win. That's what they said. And the one thing I was upset about Vettori, they told him that, and he still went in there and tried to do a takedown. Like, what are you doing trying to do a takedown when your corner is telling you? You gotta knock him out. You don't need points. You don't need 1 or 2 points and trying to get a submit. You need to knock him out. Like that's what they're telling you to do. And he wasn't listening to them. But style bender, man, he's just getting better and better. And I can't wait to see what's next for him. Honestly, like you said, he's just beating everyone in his division. So
you gotta realize,
I don't even know what's next.
He's
for him,
only been in the UFC for 3 years.
Exactly.
He's already reigning champion, couple title defenses,
and only learned
jiu-jitsu. Tried to move up once, and he can only get better. And every time he fights, he shows that he gets better.
And only known MMA for 6 years. Actually, he's like been wrestling and practicing MMA 6 years. So
great size for his weight class.
I can't wait to see what happens. I think
definitely gonna keep improving and doing good.
I think the UFC is gonna wait for him till next year, and then once they take UFC into Africa, 2022 is going to be the first event in 2022. They're going to do some sort of maybe triple championship event with Usman, Francis Ngannou, and Adesanya. There, all 3 of them. So
no, they all want it to happen for sure. Right now, obviously, like the fight was dominance. Now it's like, what's next for these fighters? Right now, he wants to run it back with Robert Whittaker.
Yep. That's right. Because he wanted that fight earlier too. He wanted it before Vettori too.
Robert Whittaker is he's not a bad fighter. Like
he's big too.
So I kind of like that call out. They fought in Robert Whittaker's backyard, so now he wants to take that fight in his backyard. But ain't no international fights happening, and the problem with that is he already told Dana that he wants to fight in October. He wants to fight again this year.
Yeah. So he might.
So if he fight again this year, it's not happening in New Zealand. So he can still fight Robert this year, but it definitely has to be in the U.S. So I'm not even sure what's next, because if it's not Robert, I don't even know who's next for Izzy. He already ran through that whole division.
I know. Well, you think he might want to go up up again?
If he does that, he's gonna definitely have to take some time off and get his body
another 6 months, bigger, bulk up.
But so I don't think that's gonna happen for another year or two. He's gonna enjoy his reign in the middleweights again for a little bit.
I think I agree with you. I think he's gonna
know what's next.
I think he's gonna take that Whitaker fight unless they want to wait and have some sort of like
a
three.
Wait, I don't understand what's next.
I just think they want like three African championships in Africa. The UFC would love that.
No.
That's
he
amazing
wants
for
to fight
African
Whitaker
nation.
in New Zealand, not in Africa.
Yeah, I know. Because he wants to fight earlier than because
he wants to come on. He's from New Zealand.
Right,
he's Nigerian, so he
he's
wants
Nigerian
to fight
too,
in his backyard with that. So. If he has basically if he can't fight this year in New Zealand, then I think he just picks a fight. I don't think he waits for Whitaker versus Adesanya 2 in Africa. I don't think that's the fight that happens.
Yeah, I think I agree, because I don't know if you want to share a three championship card, with the two other champions as well. So I probably agree with you.
And then that wouldn't be the fight to make it happen. Like I say, he's not gonna wait and not fight Whitaker. Just like I say, he's very specific about him fighting him.
No, I agree with you. He wanted to fight Whitaker now.
In Africa, if he has to wait and not fight him in New Zealand, he's gonna fight him this year.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. You're right.
So that's the thing, though. If that's not next, I don't know what's next for Adesanya. But
no, I think you're right, because he was saying he wanted to fight Whitaker before, and Dana gave him Vettori, so it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But,
like I say,
but either way, watching him,
I don't know any other fight where he had in question. That was the one fight that was in question. Like I said, it's about legacies for him, making sure he puts to rest any discrepancies on whether he wants to fight or not. So other than Vettori, I don't see any other fight like that. He dominated every other fight, so I don't know what's next.
One of the best in his division ever. What do you think? Him up against Anderson Silva, obviously in the same division.
He's got some time to grow. I think he's only 21, 22 fights in.
Yep.
But at the end of the day,
I think he was 23rd. He was 22-1 yesterday, and so now he's 23-1.
He for sure is top 3.
I put him up there top 3 as well. I think he's behind Anderson Silva right now. But if he wins, if he has 2 more title defenses, I'll keep him up there at number 1 probably.
And at that point, his legacy is secure, and he could feel comfortable going up into weight class and actually trying to fight with John, or whoever's the champ at that point. At this point, light middleweights are definitely not light heavyweights.
Light heavyweights, yep.
Definitely a scary division.
Scary.
So you never know.
But man, a great fight.
Yes,
this week.
Cards were amazing.
Oh my God. Great fights, and just watching these guys just compete and what's gonna happen next to them is so interesting. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yes, that's what say next month we got 264.
Yeah, we got another fight.
Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 3. Tui Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy.
Yep.
Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson, and obviously we got a couple other names on that card, including Sean O'Malley, Nico Price, Sean Brady, Trevin Giles, and Dricus Duplessis.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely the fight game is back in full force. So we're
back
definitely going to be here for it. We're here to cover it all. We're here to show our insight, our love for it, basically anything you want. So we're definitely going to keep on making sure we provide you with this content. So
that's
definitely
right.
It was an amazing card, and I can't wait to the next one.
Great one. I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in and checking us out, on social media. And please follow and subscribe, rate us wherever you get your podcasts. And, if you guys want to just talk to us on there.
Yes, for sure. And we will be seeing you this week. Wrap up of the second round of NBA playoffs.
That's
right. Seeing who's going to them conference finals, and basically see how the rest of that season is going. So we'll definitely see more of you. You'll be seeing more of us.
Got a lot of sports this summer still, so
yes,
can't wait to talk about it. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to Who You Got with
Mello
and Rado.
Peace.
See you guys later.